Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm Adam from allstreamedup.com. Let's talk about Wirecast 16, my favorite software for live streaming video. I think it's my favorite because with a little bit of customization, it reminds me of a simple broadcast TV switcher, and that's what's most familiar to me. And it's very powerful, allowing you to stream multiple sources to multiple destinations. It has 5 video buses, it supports NDI, and of course, much more. I've been using Wirecast for over 10 years and spent hundreds of hours going over and over the steps to live stream fairly sophisticated shows. And with the recent update to Wirecast 16, it seems the wise developers over at Telestream are always making me learn new things. For example, if you've used Wirecast before, then you're probably familiar with pressing the space bar for a dissolve and pressing the return key for a cut, but you can say goodbye to that feature in version 16.2. The developers claim they've removed the feature so there aren't accidental transitions. Here we have the Wirecast 6.2.0 release notes. And as you'll notice, if you find the spot under Features and Improvements, WC582 under Bug Fixes, to prevent unintended shortcut usage, the Enter and Spacebar keys have been removed as hard-coded shortcuts due to their common usage in text fields. But what if I told you there is a way to bring that feature back with your own custom keyboard shortcuts? Well, I'd be lying, because you can't. However, you can get something pretty close to it that may just suit your needs, and I'm going to show you that today. All right, so in Wirecast 16, what we want to do is we're going to go up to the Wirecast menu and select Settings. And over on the Shortcuts tab, this is where you're going to have the keyboard shortcuts in Wirecast 16. They're a little bit different than in previous versions, and you'll notice that if you haven't changed anything before, the keyboard shortcut set defaults to default, and all of the shortcuts under here are the default shortcuts for the application. In this case, the spacebar and return are intended for switching, and as you would predict, under the switch menu, you'll notice that here are the shortcuts. So the very first shortcut is the Go. So it's Command G on a Mac. And so if you hit Command G, it's going to go ahead and make a switch for you, but it's not space bar and it's not return. And you have to select which transition you want before you hit Command G. So it's also taken away that sort of dissolve and cut option with a single keyboard shortcut. So let's scroll down a little bit. And you're going to notice that there's a Go with transition control 1, 2, and 3. These are what we're going to want to edit, and you'll notice it's blank, so nothing's happening here. However, you can't edit these under the default, so we're going to make a new shortcut set. And in order to do that, we're going to click on Configure, and we're going to duplicate that default set. And okay, so now it's saying default 2. If you click this menu, you'll see all of the sets you've made in addition to the default. So I've already come in and done a few to see how it works. I'm going to go to my custom because this is the one I set up that I like. And now you'll notice, okay, so this is my shortcut set called custom. And here are my application shortcuts. And it's the switch menu as before. Because it's a duplicate, it comes with all of the transitions that come shipped in the default set. So here we have our Go, which I think I messed around with this, so it no longer has that Command G. I'll set that back, click there, Command G. That's not what I want. I want to go down to Go with Transition Control. And you'll notice I've already done something here. So Go with Transition Control 1 is set to Shift and Return. Go with Transition 2 is set to Shift and Space. So I'm going to close out of here, and I'll show you under your Live and Preview windows between your video buses. In the middle, here's your transitions here, 1, 2, and 3. So 1, I have it set to a cut. 2 is set to a smooth, which is a dissolve. And 3 is a more complicated transition from the list here. I don't mind the cross blur. Looks pretty cool. So let's go to the cut, and if I hit my shift and space bar, I will get a dissolve. So it automatically selected my smooth and went ahead and performed the transition. I'm going to go back with shift and space bar. And there's my dissolve. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit shift plus return. And that's a cut. And I'll hit shift and return again. And that cuts back to what was on my preview screen. It's not as convenient as just hitting the space bar or just hitting cut, but with that extra shift key, my memory still reminds me all I have to do is hit space bar, but I just need to add that shift for my dissolve. There it is. And shift and enter for a cut. And there it is. Now, what were those other ones with the command G and the command 1, 2, and 3? Let's try those out right now. So if I hit command G, it's going to cut, because if I go back to my Wirecast, you'll see that my transition was set to a cut. If I click on the smooth and hit command G, it will do that smooth dissolve. I hit command G and I go back. But I have to select the transition before I hit command G. Otherwise, I might not get the right kind, as opposed to that shift and space and that shift and enter. It's always giving me a dissolve and always giving me a cut. The other transitions that were set in our shortcuts in the default and the one we just made because we didn't change it was command 1, 2, and 3. So if you'll observe the transition area, if I hit command 2, it switches to smooth. If I hit command 3, it goes to my third transition. And if I hit command 1, jumps back to a cut. So in theory, I could hit command 2. I'm ready for that dissolve. And I'll hit command G. And it goes ahead and does the dissolve. I'll hit command 1. And I'll hit command G. And it does the cut back. Still works as a keyboard shortcut, but there's that double step. There's that extra step. So by going in and creating that new menu and setting it to shift and enter and shift and G, now we can just quickly make a transition without thinking about setting it beforehand. And now we have it set it up pretty much like what it was before. So that's it. And now that you have your keyboard shortcuts set up for fast transitions without having to move your hand to that mouse and missing that crucial moment, now you can go ahead and set up your hotkeys and assign them to your cameras and other sources as you wish. I hope this helps to make your next live stream a little easier and more fun so you can take it to the next level. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to my channel. Bye for now.